In a meeting, Mark Zuckerberg said he would go to the mat to fight any attempt the government might make to break up Facebook. And he specifically mentioned Elizabeth Warren as an existential threat to Facebook. How do you feel about those comments, and do you agree?
So those comments were in an internal meeting, so he was being very candid. But generally, I really do agree and stand by the comments that we don't think it's a good idea to break us up.
How would you counter that argument that Facebook has become so huge? Mark Zuckerberg himself essentially in control of the information that flows to more than 1 billion people around the world.
It makes sense to me that people would be anxious about our scale. There's a few things that it's really good for. If you want to prevent interference in elections, if you want to reduce the spread of hate speech on the platforms, we benefit massively from working together closely.
Before becoming the head of Instagram last year, Adam Mosseri was at Facebook, which bought the photo-sharing platform in 2012. Among his first priorities, tackling online bullying.
But I think about my own experience. I was bullied in middle school, and when I left school and went home, I wasn't bullied anymore. Now kids are going home and they're taking this with them. Is the solution to just get off of it over the course of the day?
It's a good question. I was bullied in middle school too. And I think the fact that you don't necessarily have a reprieve from that experience is like a big difference between what it means to be a kid today and what it means to be a kid when we were in middle school.
Tragically this week, a 16-year-old boy in Tennessee, Channing Smith, took his own life after intimate text messages he shared with another boy were posted on social media, including Instagram. How do you go about trying to prevent something like that?
It's a horrible story. My heart goes out to the family. I have 2 boys. I can't imagine what it would be like to go through what they're going through. What we try and do, and this is a reminder of how important the work is prevent bullying from happening on Instagram and Facebook whenever possible.
Today, Instagram is launching a new anti-bullying feature called Restrict. It allows you to approve or decline nasty messages before they're posted to your account, all without blocking the person sending the messages and without them knowing it. Ideas that came directly from teenage users.
We also started to ask them, well, why don't you use some of the tools that are available to you today? So why not block someone who's bullying you? And we heard very consistently, particularly from teenagers, often that can actually escalate the situation.
There's been a big increase in depression and suicide among teenagers. Do you think that social media is partially to blame for that?
I think that the trends are long, and I think that we on social media, who work in social media, I'm sure have a part to play in the anxiety and the pressure that people, particularly young people, feel. I also want to make sure that we are honest about the fact that given our scale, there's going to be some good and there's going to be some bad that happens on our platform.
But bullying is just part of the problem. A recent study found Instagram will be the vehicle of choice for disinformation in the 2020 election cycle.
There are always going to be sophisticated bad actors that are trying to leverage our scale for bad outcomes.
If you identify misinformation, lies that are out there, memes specifically on Instagram, what do you do with it?
We try and reduce its distribution as much as possible. We also try to provide context to people so they can be more informed readers, make more informed decisions about what to read, what to share, and what to trust.
Do you worry that there at Instagram could be things that you don't recognize that could be harmful? And how do you stay on top of that and avoid that?
It's my job to worry. I'm super worried about this sort of thing. I think if I wasn't worried, I'd be more likely to miss something.
Mosseri says his next step could be getting rid of Instagram's popular likes altogether.
The big idea is to try and make Instagram feel less pressurized, to make it less of a competition. So you can spend a little bit less time worrying about how many likes you have and a little bit more time connecting with people or things that inspire you.